Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation by Group 5. Today we would like to try to explain to you about the learning activities. Okay, so before we start it, let me introduce my group members. There are Aulia Rahman with ID number 2001850, and then me, Karina Elsa Rahmadianti, with ID number 200180515, and then Nadira Putri Isladara with ID number 200180077. Okay, so what is learning activities? As the name suggests, are activities designed or deployed by the teacher to bring out or create the conditions for learning. A teacher who is mindfully engaged with considering and choosing learning activities based on the knowledge processes which these activities activate is thinking through the purpose of those activities and what kind of work she wants her students to be engaged in, what kind of thinking, acting being. The knowledge processes provide a name for these different ways of working and for the pedagogical character purpose that these different ways of working involve. Planning learning activities. When planning learning activities, you should consider the types of activities that students will need to be engaged in and to demonstrate the intended learning outcomes. The activity should provide experience that will enable students to engage, practice, and gain feedback on specific outcomes. Also, how much time the activities would take. Identify strategies to check on understanding and build in time for explanation, discussion, or to reflect on learning. And for the next presentation will be delivered by Aulia Rahman. For Aulia Rahman, the time and place is yours.
Okay, thanks to Karina. The next material is about some questions to think about when designing the learning activities. The first one, what would motivate your student to do this activity? Second one, what do students need to hear, read, or see or to understand the topic? The third one, how can I engage students in the topic? The fourth one, what are some relevant real-life examples, analogies, or situations that can help students explore the topic? And the last one, what will students need to do to practice and demonstrate knowledge of the topic? Next, please. Example of learning activities. The first one is think, pair, prepare. In this twist on think, pair, share, pose an open-ended question to your class and ask students to come up with their best answer. Next, pair learner up and get them to agree on a response. Get two pairs together, and the foursome need to do the same thing. Continue until half the group goes head to head with the other half. If your students are online, breakout room in your conferencing software let you do the same thing virtually. Number two, improve games. If your classroom is museum level, right, no matter how you try to liven things up, try some low stakes, improve activities. In the three things in common game, pairs figure out the most unexpected things they share. This can also be done online breakout rooms, or challenge your student to count to 20 as a group with one person saying each number, but one is assigned a number. And if two people talk at the same time, everyone start again at one. Next, please. Number three, brainwriting. Brainwriting. You've probably tried to brainstorming, but have you tried brainwriting? In this approach, students are given time to come up with their own ideas individually before sharing them out loud or posting them to an online whiteboard or other shared platform. Building in space for individual reflection leads to better ideas and less groupthink. Next, Jigsaw. Help students with accountability by teaching each other. Start by dividing them into home group. 4 or 5 people works well. Again, breakout room in Zoom or Google Meet. Make this simple even if everyone is remote. Assign each person in the group of a different topic explore. They will regroup to work with all the students from the other group who are exploring the same idea. Once they have mastered the concept, students return to their home group and everyone shares newfound expertise. Next. Concept mapping. Collaborative concept mapping is a great way for students to step away from the individual perspective. Groups can do this to review previous work, or it can help them map ideas for projects and assignments. In the pre-COVID times, you may have covered classroom walls with sticky notes and chart paper. Now, there are many online tools that make it simple to map out connection between ideas. Next, the 1 minute paper. How much could you explain in 1 minute? At the end of class, set a timer and ask students to record their most eye-opening revelation or biggest question. This activity lets students reflect on learning and build writing skills. Plus, you will get a window into their understanding and misunderstanding. Here are more prompts you can use to grade student writing. Okay, next, real-time reaction. When students are watching a video, a mini lecture, or another student presentation, have them share the real-time reaction. This helps students spot trends and consider new points of view. You can set up a hashtag to allow for live tweeting or use the chat function in your conferencing software. Next, change note. Write several questions on a piece of paper and pass each to a student. The first student adds a response, use a timer to keep things moving quickly, and then pauses the page alone to gather more responses. Multiple contributions help build more complete understanding. A digital alternative involves using shared documents that multiple students are invited to edit. Then your class can examine the response and identify patterns and missing pieces. I think that all for me, the rest material will be explained by my partner, Nadira. So, Nadira, time is yours.
Okay, next to the number 9 example of learning activities. Its idea line up. In this part, choose a question that has a range of responsive and then ask students where they stand literally. If you are not social distancing, have them come to the front of the classroom and organize themselves in a line based on where on the spectrum of answers they find themselves. In a blended classroom or a physically distanced one, get them to place themselves on a virtual number of instead. Next to mystery quotation, test how well a student can apply their understanding on an issue or theoretical position. After they have explored a topic, show them a quotation about it they have never seen before. The task is to figure out the point of view of the person behind the quotation, and justify it to the class. Students can debate this issue in small breakout groups before beginning a whole class discussion. Next. Next to ID speed dating, have students cycle through your space or through breakout room in Zoom or Google Meet. sharing insights about a topic, or the evaluator pitch for an upcoming project. As they present their learnings multiple times on several speed dates, students' presentation skills and perspectives will grow. Next to peer review. The process of peer review is as old as academia, and it's never too early to start. Have students swap drafts or their essay, proposals, or lab reports, and then come up with comments and, and question for each other. Make sure to be clear about what the goals are. Using rubrics helps. For example, students could identify compelling arguments, unanswered question, and holes in logic. The third one is question. Every played Jeopardy. Then you are ready for question. It's like a standard class discussion, but only questions are allowed. Students call statement if some slips up. If you play this game at the beginning of the course, the question can help shape your course. If you have students both in the room and calling in from a distance, make sure the remote learnings get equal airtime and that your audio system is picking up student voice clearly. Next to sketchnoting, instead of taking traditional lecture notes, try getting your students to sketch a picture that represents what they have learned during the class. Remember, it's not about the quality of the art. It's about how drawing prompts students to visualize their understanding and look at their learning from a different perspective. And the last one is empathy mapping. Take a page from the designer's handbook and get students to explore deeper by embracing a perspective. It's deceptively simple. Write down what a person says, thinks, does, and feels. The ability to slow down and immerse yourself in another point of view is valuable. In design thinking, empathy maps helps designers create better products for users. But this process can be just as valuable for analyzing characters from literature, historical figures, or political stance.
Okay, I think that's all from us. Thank you so much for your kind attention. And if you have any questions, you can put it down in the discussion forum in learning. Thank you so much, everyone. Sorry for any mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.